The first time Amara saw him, he was standing in the rain like he owned it. Abuja rain does not fall gently. It crashes. It soaks. It baptizes the streets in red mud and broken reflections. But he stood there outside the courthouse gates, no umbrella, no hurry, black shirt clinging to his chest like the storm was part of his design. People moved around him carefully. Not because he blocked the path, but because something about him said, move. Amara noticed that first. She had just lost a case. A small one, but it mattered to her. She was still new in the firm, still trying to prove that she was more than a scholarship girl from Nyanya who spoke too softly and worked too hard. She was fumbling with her bag when a car splashed dirty water across her skirt. She gasped. And he laughed. Not cruelly. Just amused. She turned, furious. Their eyes met. That was the moment. If she had looked away, maybe her life would have been different. But she didn't. His eyes were dark. Not empty. Not evil. Just certain. Like he had already decided something about her. He walked toward her slowly. I apologize for the rain, he said, as if he controlled it. She frowned. You should apologize for laughing. He smiled wider. And just like that, she forgot she was angry. His name was Malik Sani. People in Abuja knew that name. Oil contracts. Political connections. Real estate that stretched beyond what newspapers could explain. Power that did not need to shout. He asked for her number. She hesitated. Only for a second. Then she gave it. That night, she told herself it was harmless. It never is. He called the next day. Then the next. He didn't text much. He preferred to hear her voice. Said it grounded him. No man had ever said that to her before. She told him about her dreams of opening her own legal practice one day. A firm that defended women who had no voice. He listened. He always listened. That was the dangerous part. When he took her out, it wasn't to noisy lounges or crowded restaurants. It was quiet places. Private rooftops. Hidden gardens behind expensive hotels. He said he hated crowds. She believed him. The first time he touched her hand, she felt heat crawl up her spine. The first time he kissed her, she forgot to breathe. He did not rush her. He did not beg. He simply waited. Like he knew she would choose him. And she did. The warnings came early. They always do. Her colleague Tola leaned against her desk one afternoon and whispered, "You're seeing Malik Sani, ABI?" Amara stiffened. "Who told you?" "This is Abuja. Walls gossip." Tola's expression shifted. "Be careful." Amara laughed lightly. "Of what?" "He's just a man." Tola didn't laugh back. "He's not just a man. But love makes you arrogant. It makes you believe you are different." Amara told herself people feared powerful men because they envied them. She told herself Malik was misunderstood. She told herself many things. All of them wrong. The first crack appeared 3 months in. She had missed his call while in court. When she called back, he didn't answer. She called again. And again. By the time he returned the call that evening, his voice was calm. Too calm. "Where were you?" "In court," she said softly. "With who?" She laughed nervously. "My client, obviously." Silence. "Then, you don't laugh like that for other men." Her stomach tightened. It was just a laugh. Another silence. "I don't share what is mine." The words slid under her skin. Mine. It should have frightened her. Instead, it made her feel chosen. He started showing up unannounced. At her office. Outside her apartment. He said he missed her. He said he worried. He said Abuja was not safe. She told herself it was romantic. Until the night she attended her cousin's birthday without telling him. Music filled the compound. Laughter rose into the night. She had turned off her phone to enjoy herself. When she turned it back on, there were 23 missed calls. Her heart dropped. Before she could dial back, headlights flooded the compound gate. His car. He stepped out slowly. The music died. Even the DJ seemed to understand something was wrong. He walked straight to her. Not smiling. Not angry. Just cold. "Get in the car." Her cousin stared. Amara swallowed. "Malik, I can explain. Now." Something in his tone made her obey. Inside the car, the air was heavy. "You embarrassed me," he said quietly. "I didn't know I needed permission to attend my cousin's birthday." He looked at her then. Really looked at her. And for the first time, she saw it. Not love. Control. You don't move without telling me, he said. Her pride rose. I am not your property. His jaw tightened. The slap came so fast she didn't even see his hand move. Her ears rang. Her world tilted. He stared at her as if shocked by his own action. Then he exhaled. You made me do that. And that was how it began. He apologized the next morning. Flowers. Jewelry. A new car she did not ask for. I lose myself when I think of losing you, he said. She wanted to believe that meant passion. Not danger. She forgave him. Because that is what women in love do. They forgive the first slap. They explain it away. They rewrite the story in their heads. It was stress. It was alcohol. It was her fault. The second slap came easier. It is never their fault. The third came without apology. Then came the isolation. Your friends don't respect me. Your family asks too many questions. Your job takes too much of your time. Slowly, gently, he began to shrink her world. And she let him. Because every time he hurt her, he held her afterward like she was fragile glass. I can't live without you, he would whisper into her hair. She believed him. She thought that meant she was powerful. She did not realize she was being erased. 6 months later, she resigned from her firm. He didn't force her. He just suggested it would be easier if she focused on us. He moved her into his mansion in Maitama. High gates. Armed security. Silence that swallowed screams. At first, it felt like luxury. Then it felt like a cage. He monitored her phone. He controlled her outings. If she wore something he considered too revealing, he would tear it. If other men look at you, I will blind them. She stopped wearing color. She stopped laughing loudly. She stopped being Amara. One night, she found a lipstick stain on his shirt. Bright red. Not hers. Her hands shook as she waited for him to return. When he walked in, she held up the shirt. What is this? He didn't deny it. Instead, he smiled. You think you are the only woman who wants me? The humiliation burned. You said you loved me. I do. Then why? He grabbed her chin hard. Don't question me. The rage in his eyes was different that night. Darker. She realized something terrifying. He did not love her. He owned her. And owners do not explain themselves. The beating that followed was not the worst part. The worst part was what he said afterward. You will never leave me. No one will believe you. Do you know who I am? Yes. She knew. And that was the problem. Malik Sani did not lose. Malik Sani did not get exposed. Malik Sani made problems disappear. The turning point came quietly. No drama. No shouting. Just a whisper of clarity. She was in the bathroom, staring at her reflection. Her lip was swollen. Her eye slightly purple. She barely recognized herself. She touched her face. And something inside her cracked. This is not love. The realization felt like grief. She cried silently, because cameras were installed in the house. Yes. Cameras. She had discovered them accidentally. Security, he said. Protection. But the lenses followed her movements too closely. She understood then. She was not his partner. She was his prisoner. Planning her escape took months. She pretended. She smiled when he wanted her to smile. She laughed at his jokes. She endured his touch. And she saved small amounts of cash from the allowances he gave her. She memorized the security schedule. She studied the blind spots of the cameras. Every night, she told herself, survive. The opportunity came when he traveled to Lagos for a deal. He would be gone 2 days. She packed one small bag. Nothing that would alert suspicion. At 2:17 a.m., when the guards rotated, she slipped through the back gate. Her heart pounded so loudly she thought it would wake the street. She did not look back. She did not breathe until she reached the taxi. Airport, she whispered. Her hands trembled the entire ride. When the plane lifted off, she felt something unfamiliar. Hope. If you're still here with Amara, pause for a second. Leaving is never as simple as walking away. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes surviving things you never thought you would. If you believe no one deserves to be loved like a possession, subscribe now. Because stories like this are not just stories. They are warnings. And they might save someone you know. Now let's see what power does when it realizes it has lost control. She stayed with an old university friend in Port Harcourt. Changed her number. Filed a quiet complaint through a human rights organization. But she underestimated him. Malik did not rage. He hunted. He froze her bank accounts. He spread rumors. He destroyed her reputation before she could speak. She stole from me. She is unstable. She is ungrateful. And because he was powerful, people listened. Her job offers disappeared. Her friends stopped answering calls. Even her parents begged her to settle the matter quietly. You cannot fight a man like that, her father said. She felt alone in a way she had never known. But she did not go back. Then came the final blow. One evening, as she returned from a small temporary job at a bookstore, she saw his car outside the building. Her blood ran cold. He stepped out slowly. Just like the first night in the rain. Calm. Certain. You thought you could disappear, he asked softly. She stepped back. I am not coming back. His eyes softened in a way that almost fooled her again. I miss you. She shook her head. You miss controlling me. Something flickered in his expression. Anger. Wounded pride. You belong to me. No, she said. Her voice trembled, but she held it steady. I don't. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then he smiled. A slow, chilling smile. If I can't have you, he said quietly, no one will. The accident made headlines. Young woman hit by a speeding vehicle. Driver unknown. Case unsolved. People whispered. But no one spoke loudly. Because power does not need witnesses. Amara survived. Barely. A shattered leg. Internal injuries. Scars that would never fade. As she lay in the hospital bed, pain slicing through her body, she understood the full cost. Loving him had cost her career. Her friends. Her reputation. Her body. Almost her life. But it did not cost her her mind. Recovery and that was the one thing he could not destroy. Brutal. Lonely. But in that loneliness, she found something stronger than love. Truth. She began documenting everything. Dates. Messages. Medical reports. Witness accounts. She connected with journalists outside Nigeria. With activists who did not fear his name. It took a year. A full year of quiet gathering. Then the story broke. International headlines. Evidence. Photographs. Audio recordings she had secretly kept. The world watched. Malik denied everything. Of course he did. But cracks appeared in his empire. Investigations began. Allies distanced themselves. Power shifted. For the first time, he looked nervous. The trial was long. Ugly. Exhausting. He tried to intimidate her in court. Tried to stare her down like he used to. But she did not look away this time. She spoke clearly. About the slaps. The cameras. The threats. The car. The fear. Her voice did not shake. Because she was no longer speaking as a lover. She was speaking as a survivor. The verdict did not fix everything. Justice rarely does. But it was enough. Enough to strip him of untouchable status. Enough to remind powerful men that silence is not permanent. When the judge read the sentence, Amara felt something release inside her. Not joy. Not revenge. Just peace. Years later, when people ask her why she stayed so long, she answers honestly. Because he made me feel chosen. Then she adds, but love that demands your silence is not love. She walks with a slight limp now. A reminder. A scar written into her bones. But she walks free. And sometimes, when Abuja rain begins to fall violently against the city, she remembers that first night outside the courthouse. She remembers how he stood in the storm like he owned it. And she realizes something she did not understand then. He never owned the rain. He never owned her. He only owned her fear. And once she stopped being afraid, he lost everything. If this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Share it. Someone out there is calling control love. Someone out there is forgiving the first slap. Someone out there still believes they deserve the cage. And if you've ever chosen yourself after losing everything, I'm proud of you. Subscribe for more stories that remind you. Love should never cost you your voice.